everyone. Thank you for joining us for the 2021 Oita Japan Festival. While we are saddened that we cannot host the festival in person this year, we are very excited to share with you two very talented individuals as part of our virtual festival. Japan is home to many traditional art forms, from shodo, calligraphy, to ikebana, flower arrangement. For this year's event, we would like to introduce you to the art of Japanese pottery and tea ceremony. Both of these art forms have a rich history that span thousands of years and are deeply intertwined in practice. Pottery, such as chawan, a tea bowl, or mizusashi, water jar, are carefully chosen to be used and presented in a tea ceremony. To learn more about Japanese pottery and its role in tea ceremony, we will turn to the experts. Today, we are delighted to feature a very talented ceramicist from here in Austin, Texas. Linda Mosley has taught pottery for over 50 years and holds 2 teaching certificates from Urasenke Chado Tankokai Foundation in Kyoto, Japan. Today, she will be walking us through the intricate process of making a tea bowl.
My interest in pottery and Japanese tea ceremony began when I was an art major in undergraduate school at the University of Illinois. My main focus of study was ceramic art, and I discovered Cha-no-yu in an elective course called Introduction to Japanese Arts in 1968. I went on to complete a Master of Fine Arts degree in ceramics in 1972. For that, my final thesis exhibition consisted of a series of ceramic tea sets based on my research on the rituals associated with drinking tea in both the Western and Japanese cultures. The attention to nuances that the tea ceremony host considers when planning each tea gathering, as well as the elegant economy of motion during the tea-making process, has had a lasting impact on my work. After graduation, I taught ceramic art in St. Louis, Missouri for over 40 years. During this time, I experimented with many pottery forming and kiln firing techniques. My goal in teaching has always been to provide an introduction to the wide range of technical choices for creative expression in clay. My first Cha-no-yu lessons were with Mrs. Minnie Kibose during the year we lived in Chicago. Since 2008, I have been studying with Dr. Sheila Fling in Austin. After receiving my second certificate to teach from the Urasenke Foundation, I began giving Cha-no-yu lessons in my home tea room. In addition to teaching ceramics, I've always maintained a small studio at my home, with an electric kiln for mid-range temperature firing. I make functional pottery both by hand building and with the potter's wheel. The first method I will demonstrate is hand building with the slab, coil, and drape mold techniques. To make the chawan, first I create a slab of clay, moving the roller in different directions to compress the slab to an even thickness. Next, I cut out a circle from the slab, and then also cut out 4 darts to help it fit over the mold. To make the mold for the chawan, I consider how it will engage the senses of sight, sound, and touch. The chawan should be easy to hold, balanced in weight and stability. It should have a comfortable lip for drinking. The inside curve should be smooth and allow full movement of the whisk. And finally, the color and texture should enhance the green matcha. After smoothing the joints inside and out, the rim is trimmed and the texture is added to the outside with a cord-wrapped stick and a paddle in this case. To complete the form, I roll a coil of clay and attach it to the bottom to create the kodai, or foot. Not only does the forming take time, but the drawing process must be carefully controlled to avoid warping and to bring the ware to the ideal state for trimming and adding details. potter's wheel is basically a fast-moving turntable, which allows the potter to make symmetrical forms. To make a tea bowl on the wheel, I first prepare the clay by wedging it on a table. This makes sure that the moisture content is even and that there are no air pockets. Next, I center the clay on the wheel. After making an opening, I shape the inner curve called the chasanzuri. Finally, I pull the walls up and finish the rim. Because clay is water-based, the amount of heat and humidity in the air determine how quickly the series of work progresses. After the clay has partially dried to the consistency of leather, I center the bowl on its rim and trim away the excess clay to create the kodai, or foot. The design I chose for these chowan is the prickly pear cactus, Opuntia. It is the official state plant of Texas and a symbol of hope and endurance in harsh conditions. I admire the lively animated forms of their paddle-shaped segments, which also have nutritional and medicinal properties. To create the design for the tea bowls, I began by photographing the cactus in my garden, and then made several line drawings to transfer to each bowl. First, I arrange a paper drawing on the unfired tea bowl and trace over it to leave a light indentation. I either carve away the background to leave a raised design or simply paint the cactus motif with colorful underglazes. The group of unfired tea bowls are dried slowly to prevent warping and cracking, and then loaded into the kiln for the first firing. If the motif was not added to the unfired ware, it can be drawn onto the bisque-fired ware and highlighted with colorful glazes before being dipped into a clear or slightly opaque glaze before the final firing. Although a chawan may appear to be a simple bowl, the potter works tirelessly to understand the basic elements of earth, air, fire, and water in order to create a harmonious interplay of surface and volume that enhances the experience of sharing a bowl of tea in tranquility.
A huge thank you to Linda for crafting these beautiful Texas-themed tea bowls. To commemorate our bond as sister cities, these very special bowls have been shipped all the way to Oita, Japan, to be used in a tea ceremony as a means to honor our 31-year-long friendship. Sashihara Kuniyuki, a ceramicist in Oita, has also gifted a beautiful tea bowl to Linda. She will be using this bowl in a traditional tea ceremony. We are eager to watch her demonstration as she shares with us all of the thought and preparation that goes into making a bowl of tea. Wa otate toshi to nasu. This phrase, from the first provision in the 7th century Japanese constitution enacted by Prince Shotoku, means to make harmony and respect. For her demonstration today, Linda has chosen this scroll which reads, "Cherish Harmony," to celebrate our harmonious friendship with Oita, Japan. The flower vase, or hanaire, was built by Linda using neriage stoneware. To prepare the tea, Linda will be using a kama to boil hot water, a mizusashi to store cool water, a hishaku to scoop the water, chasen and chashaku, which are the tea whisk and tea scoop, a natsume for storing the matcha, and of course the chawan, or tea bowl, from Sashihara. To complement the bitter and savory taste of matcha, Linda has prepared some traditional Japanese confectionery, known as higashi, on a vintage basket.
Ibuku sashiagemasu.
This phrase means "I will serve you a dose" and signals the beginning of the ceremony. Thank you so much for joining us for this year's virtual festival. We hope you were able to learn about pottery and its role in Japanese tea ceremony. Be sure to watch Sashihara's video where he will demonstrate how he made his tea bowls. Again, we would like to thank Linda for all the hard work she put into teaching us about pottery and for participating in this special tea ceremony exchange with our friends in Austin and our friends in Oita.